Hi, I'm Stuart Lister. I'm one of the coaches with the Peterborough Phantoms Junior Ice Hockey Academy. Well, certainly this season I find myself down at the rink near enough every night. I coach across all of the junior clubs from under 10s through to under 18s, taking on like an associate coaching role, assisting the lead coaches on those teams. I've also picked up some duties helping out with a Sportive 8 funded course for adult learn to play as well. So obviously, like I say, I find myself down here quite regular. I think just being able to coach the kids. I think being with the kids it's really interesting seeing the development, seeing the progress they've made. Certainly over my 3 or 4 years with Peterborough, I've been working with a clutch of players, and we've seen some real success with those players. A number of players have gone on to play conference, gone on to represent England. So it's really sort of quite rewarding from that point of view. And then, like I say, just sort of even attending tournaments. With our under 12s, we attended the Telford tournament 2 years, lost in the final both years, and then in the third year managed to actually bring home the trophy, which was really nice. I think sort of dealing with some of the politics. There's always politics within any sort of club, any sporting club, and any sort of environment that involves sort of children's sports. You're also always going to get a difference of opinion, and obviously there are a number of opinions that sort of people think matter. So and it's just trying to sort of cut your way through those, I think, at times, trying to make sure you acknowledge everybody's point of view, but obviously sort of trying to move ahead and make progress with where we need to be with the club and where we need to be with the kids, obviously, in terms of their development, and looking at sort of developing ice hockey players for the future, for future Phantoms, for the sort of again representing the country. I don't know really. I think when you look back at anything retrospectively, I mean, there can be times when you're on the ice with the kids and maybe a drill isn't going as you planned. You know, you sort of always have a vision in your head of how a drill might work, or how a session might go. And depending on how the kids rock it for a session, it may well not go as you sort of planned it in your head. So that can be quite frustrating, I think. But again, sort of retrospectively, you look back, you sort of think, well, you know, you may well have got something out of that experience, and hopefully the kids will have as well. So. My favourite NHL team is the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm a sort of 30-year fan. When I first started playing the game back in 1985, which is a very long time ago, but I started quite late. I was 16 when I actually started playing hockey, which I think, sort of relatively speaking, is quite late. But at that time, I remember Mario Lemieux had been drafted the year before, and I was really sort of interested in him as a player, and obviously sort of what he was doing with the Penguins. So that was my sort of, I suppose, not quite lifelong support, but certainly like over the last 30 years. Yeah, it's been interesting watching the Penguins and how they've developed as well. So. My favourite meal. For people that know me, they know that I probably don't eat very much. So I'd probably say porridge is my favourite meal, because that's the one that I get to eat regular. So. If I was to sort of pinpoint in terms of my experience, maybe getting to nationals last season with the 14s and the 12s, Team 12 winning the Telford tournament, because both were really good experiences, and both were things that group of players had worked really hard for. So you know, it sort of makes me proud that I was part of that success in terms of like what I do as a coach. So yeah. Stick with it. You know, this is a club on the rise for me. I mean, you know, we've got a number of really good kids coming through the programme, and I think sort of we're on a building process at the current time. Obviously, there've been a few different sort of changes this season, but yeah, I think it's all good. Hockey's looking good in Peterborough. For me, for a person that's you know, I've sort of moved to Peterborough from Telford. I've played at a number of other clubs, but for me, Peterborough was a hockey town, and I think it always will be. So keep the faith. Yeah.